You think you're chasing freedom, but deep down it's always been about control, the moment and everything between. The wind doesn't feel cool, it feels loud, especially when your mind starts cracking apart inside the helmet. There's a place where the rush quiets everything and only a motorcycle can take your mind there. You're not in love with riding, you're in love with the silence it gives back when the world's too much. Chapter 1. Always one gear off. You shift at the perfect time, but the ride feels empty, like the bike's listening to someone else. You nail the downshift and hear that perfect rev, but your chest still feels hollow. Why? It's not that riding feels wrong, it just doesn't feel as right as it used to when you started. You blame the tires, the road, maybe even the helmet, but what you're losing has nothing to do with traction. Your hands remember the thrill, but your pulse skips the beat that used to hit hardest in third gear. The engine's still loud, still angry, but you don't echo it anymore. That roar doesn't hit home now. You used to grin under the visor. Now you just clip it in and wait for the road to distract you. Everything's still beautiful. The bike, the turns, the open lane, but the thrill doesn't show up anymore. There's power under you, but there's a delay in your pulse, your breath, your grip. Something's not syncing. You're not chasing speed. You're chasing the first time it meant something. That moment is getting harder to reach. Chapter 2. The first time vanished. You'll never beat your first ride. That ignition lit something deeper than speed, something that even now still echoes. You gripped the bars hard and felt that first shiver of control that never showed up again after that day. Every road you ride now loops back to that first time, but the feeling never shows up again. You see your younger self in the mirror. You're chasing a ghost on roads that feel colder every new mile. The bike was cheap, the route was short, but the grin under your helmet was bigger than anything since. That first ride taught you fear, but you respected it. Now you ride numb, too good, too safe, too quiet. You've improved, learned every trick, but none of it sparks that original fire. You're faster, smoother, but emptier. You've tried different bikes, styles, displacements, but nothing has brought back what disappeared after that very first twist. Your lines are clean, your grip's perfect, but your soul, it's still searching for the pulse that first ignited. The memory always hits hardest when the engine's off. First rides aren't fast, they're sacred, and they don't repeat. Chapter 3. Built to escape. Riding stopped being a joy years ago. Now it's an exit plan. One throttle pull from silence. Every pull feels urgent. You're not looking for fun anymore. You're outrunning thoughts that crash harder than any corner. You lean hard not to thrill, but to vanish. Every curve is a sentence you don't want to finish. You've survived wrecks, but lately smooth rides feel worse, because nothing throws you out of your head like danger. The days you're most broken are the days you ride best. That says more than your lap time ever could. You redline it often now, not to win, but to shut everything up for just 5 seconds of relief. The mirrors aren't for safety. You use them to check if the world's still behind you. It always is. Braking hard clears your thoughts faster than meditation ever did. The rush feels like clarity until it doesn't. You're splitting more aggressively lately, not for speed, just to see if anything wakes your heart up again. You idle at red lights like you're hoping time pauses too, but the green always comes before you're ready. Chapter 4. When the silence ends. You ride solo for peace, but lately the silence just makes the emptiness louder. The engine hums, you don't. You stopped listening to music, not for focus, but because your thoughts got louder than anything headphones could fix. You chase the sunrise like it owes you something. The road's perfect, but your chest stays tight anyway. You stare at your reflection on the visor. You look like a rider, but it doesn't feel like one inside. There's no traffic, no stress, just road. Yet somehow you're still restless, like you forgot what you came for. You stall on purpose sometimes, just to sit there, just to hear the rain, just to feel something unfamiliar again. You used to kill the engine with satisfaction. Now it just feels like another thing going quiet around you. You keep hoping for a breakthrough in the silence, but all it gives back is echoes of yesterday's ride. You ride in circles now. You say it's for practice, but it's just because nowhere else feels right anymore. Before every ride you hesitate, not from fear, but from knowing this one probably won't change anything either. Chapter 5. You ride like it's missing something. Every move's clean, every shift's sharp, but something still feels off, like your instincts are 2 seconds late. You adjust your gear perfectly. Everything fits, but inside, something's loose. Something's rattling more than the damn fairings. You turn into empty streets hoping they'll turn into something else. but they all lead to the same feeling. You prep for every ride like war, not for thrill, but because it's the only time you feel anything. Even when the streets glow, it doesn't light anything up inside you. The city rides cold, no matter the speed. You brake harder than needed, not to stop, just to test if your heart still reacts to risk. You react fast, you always do. But lately, it's like you're not reacting for thrill, just for survival. The numbers hit high, but you don't. No buzz, no heartbeat spike, just cold digits and a blank expression. You feel the vibration rise, but nothing in your chest follows. That disconnect keeps growing, ride after ride. You park and walk away slow, like something's still on the bike that didn't come with you. Chapter 6. You forgot who you were. The gear's the same, the routes are similar, but you've changed more than your top speed ever did. Your old bike had soul. Now everything's polished, tuned and fast, but soulless. You traded magic for specs. You used to chase roads just to explore. Now you chase them just to feel like you still care. You used to hear the bike like music. Now it's just noise like every other day you ride. You stare at old photos trying to remember the rider in them, the guy who felt everything every corner. You ride better now, but better doesn't mean happier. It just means the ride got more silent inside. You stare through the visor like it's tinted from the inside. Clear view ahead, but fogged within. You forgot to turn, not left or right, just on. You're going through motion with no real destination. You shine bright into darkness, hoping something stares back, but all you find are reflections of who you were. The old you wouldn't have missed that lean, wouldn't have skipped that gear. He's still out there, waiting. Chapter 7. You ride to feel less. It's not peace you're after, it's absence. You ride to turn your brain off, not your spirit on. You delay the ignition, not to stretch the moment, but because you're unsure if this ride changes anything. The ritual's still there, but it's robotic now. You used to grin with the gloves, now it's just a job. Riding in rain used to mean defiance, now it just feels like agreeing with the way life's been lately. The echoes used to hype you, now they just repeat thoughts louder. Nothing fades away when you're chasing silence. You don't rev with joy, you rev with routine, like your body knows what to do even when your mind doesn't. You pick straight roads more often now. You used to crave twisties, now you just want somewhere to coast. You hold the throttle like you're holding breath. The longer the stretch, the longer you postpone coming back to life. You ride in circles, not because it's fun, but because it's the only way to feel like you're moving. The ride ends, but nothing's been fixed. You unzip the jacket, and the emptiness climbs out with the sweat.